Hey guys, I'm Sean from Srkcycles, and this is the new Honda Cub. And it's brand new to America, kind of. You see, they stopped selling the Honda Cub in America in 1974, but it originally came out in the late 1950s, and it was a hugely popular motorcycle. They came in different engine configurations, going from 50 cc's up to 125 cc's, and shared most of its components with its off-road siblings, the Trail and the Monkey. Now you might be wondering, Sean, I never heard of the Super Cub. It must not be that popular. Well, the Super Cub has a small, tiny claim to fame. And that small claim to fame is, it was the most selling vehicle ever made, ever. They sold over 110 million of these Cubs, and that's not even including all the clones that have been made off this engine. You see, most of the Chinese engines and the Chinese ATVs and Chinese pit bikes and mini bikes and stuff like that are all clones of the original Cub engine. And they've produced bajillions of those. So if you take into account that, it's probably the most popular engine out there on the planet. But in 2020, they brought a new version back to the US, and I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing. And just like the Monkey that recently came out and the Trail 125 that's gonna be coming out, this thing is just classic styling with modern everything. And it's better than the old ones were, except for one possible thing, which I'm gonna get to. Another cool thing is, instead of Honda making an entirely new motor, which may, would be more expensive, they use the same motor in this, the Honda Gram, the Trail 125, and the Monkey. So parts are always gonna be available for it. This little tiny 125cc single cylinder fuel injected air cooled engine is the standard in the world for economy and just reliability. It makes just under 10 horsepower, which is not that bad considering it only weighs 230 pounds. Mopeds make less than 1 horsepower, it's just 10 times that. But it gets over 100 miles to the gallon, which is insane. I mean, 100 miles to the gallon. That means for just like $2 or $3, I can get far, far away from here as I possibly can. And I will. When I turn 18, I'm so out of here. Now, let me explain to you guys how the thing actually works. And the cool thing about this thing is anybody could ride it. Anyone could jump on it. You see, there's no actual clutch. Turn the key. It's got a gear indicator. And this is how you shift. Up, that's how you go up the gears. That's how you go down. But every gear is automatic. So you can't stall it out. Like, anyone could possibly drive this. This actually covers up the chain drive, and it really is just a beautiful, beautiful motorcycle. All right, so here's the one possible flaw with this bike, and maybe it's not even a flaw, I don't know. The old Hondas from the 60s and 70s and 80s are such legendary, reliable things. I pulled one out of a barn that sat there for 20 years. Within a day, we had it fired up and running, and a mechanic could have got it running in a minute, and it still runs, and I love it. Here's my concern, though. Did they put too much tech on this thing? The fact that you need a proximity key fob to fire this thing up, is that in 20 years and 30 years and 50 years down the road, are these not gonna be available? You know what I mean? Like, maybe someone will find a little gadget that you plug in and you can bypass it, or just, new technology to solve that, so it's not like costing $500 to replace that when you only paid $150 for the unit. I don't really know, but that is my one concern. Other than that, let's take it for a spin. All right, guys, before we do the test drive, let's do the words of wisdom. Matthew 5:3, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Hey, man, I know it looks like I'm wearing a lot of gear for riding a scooter, but this thing claims to do 60 miles an hour. So let's go jump on the highway. All right, so I'm not kidding. This thing's pretty peppy. That's not bad. This is way faster than the other one. I mean, by far, honestly, this might be faster than some like cheap little Chinese motorcycles. Like, this thing gets up and goes. So it is just a ton of fun. I'm already doing that speed limit and then a little bit more. But like I said, you can't stall it. Anyone can ride this, and I think that's kind of cool about it. Throw it down, downshift, get into a lower gear. It's so quiet. It's incredibly quiet. You almost don't even hear it. All right, let's go jump on the highway. How many gears are in this? 4 gears? How many? Okay, 4 gears, all right. The other ones had 3, I think, but you never really knew. Well, I guess you did know, but I was always trying to find that other gear. So before we jump on the highway, I'm serious, guys. I'm having a blast riding this thing. I ride the baddest. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2". I ride the biggest, baddest bikes, 650 horsepower boss hosses, and I love them all. But there's something special about jumping on this thing and just being like, let's go find apples. You know? So something that recently came up to us was that we found a company that if you already own a motorcycle, or if you bought a motorcycle from a private individual, or if you got it from a dealership, whatever, you already have one, and you want to buy a warranty, we found a company that can put a warranty on that. It's called Discount ESP, and I read through their fine print, and it's a really, I know the guys. It's a really high quality company, and they don't care about themselves. They don't care about us, the dealerships, because we don't really get paid on it. They care about you guys, the customer. And I've been waiting for a good warranty company that could actually I could pitch, because I generally don't like them. But these guys have really good info. They got good numbers. They cover a lot of your stuff, and I think you guys need to check it out. And it's an opportunity that normally you wouldn't have had, because no one else warranties anyone without already being buying from that dealership. So it's on the link below if you're interested. You can go. You can fill out a couple things on the internet, and then you can get an idea of how much it's going to cost. It's a whole lot cheaper than any other warranty, because there's no huge giant dealer markup. So check it out, Discount ESP. Let's do a 0 to 60 while we're doing it. I mean, we might as well, right? Because this thing can hit 60 apparently. All right, go. So normally you would never see a scooter on the highway, but if you notice, this has big tall tires, almost like bicycle tires, and the speed limit here is 55, which I am doing 56 right now. And honestly, this feels more stable than some off-road like enduro dirt bikes that I've ridden. But this is I could do this. I could do this all day long. That's no problem. Now I'm not passing 55, so I don't know. This is going to be a pretty long 0 to 60. You know what? Just cut the 0 to 60 timer. This is getting embarrassing, but still, if your commute involved a couple exits, I don't know. If your commute involved a highway that was only 55 miles an hour, you could drive this thing on the highway and still get 100 miles to the gallon. I mean, honestly, I've driven some street legal motorcycles that felt less stable on the highway. This feels great. Okay, hold on. We'll go down a hill. We're creeping up. 57, 57, 56. All right. Well, it might not be crushing highway speeds or hitting 60 miles an hour, unless you're maybe really heavy and you're going downhill, but it drops to, like, 454 when you're going uphill. But still, I'm pretty impressed. I like it. I could see me having something like this, but I couldn't have just one. You have to have like 2 or 3 for when your buddies come around, or your wife wants to go for a ride. Now, normally, my wife knows how to ride a motorcycle. She's always pregnant, so it doesn't happen very often, or she doesn't run the back with me anymore that much because kids and whatnot. But if you had a little scooter like this and you lived in an area that you could just, hey, let's go cruise around the countryside, let's go hit up all those, I got a little rack on the back, let's go hit up all those little Amish stores and grab some whoopie pies or asparagus. Asparagus is gross, by the way. Whoopie pies are awesome. And just do live that outdoor country, just cruising around. That's so much fun. You know, you wear like half-face helmets, not a full-face helmet like what I'm doing just for the video. You know, you wear nice light jackets. You can have a blast. You can cruise. You can go through a park. You can drive it on the ground. You know, just honestly, it opens up a lot of cool things, a lot of fun dates, and just hanging out with friends. The cool thing about, you know, these things are so quiet. You can be cruising next to your buddy, having a convert. You can be driving at 30 miles an hour next to your buddy who's right next to you. Pop open your lid and be having a conversation. Hey, where should we go next? This is so much fun. How much fun are you having? You know, like that's what I like about riding. That's what I like about motorcycles. You know, that's what I like about stuff like this. And these things will last 50 years, 100, 1,000 years. There's no limit on how long these things can last. Guys, that wraps up my test drive. I'm really enjoying this little bike. I hope you guys are too. We'll see you guys next time.